The old cemetery cast a haunting silhouette against the fading light of dusk. It was a place that whispered secrets and held stories untold. Matt, an adventurous soul with a penchant for the mysterious, found himself drawn to its eerie outer. Little did he know that this visit would thrust him into a chilling tale of an enigmatic disappearance. As Matt ventured deeper into the cemetery, his senses heightened. The air grew heavy, leaden with a foreboding presence. His footsteps echoed against the crumbling gravestones, a stark reminder of the passage of time. The fading sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to dance with an ethereal energy. Suddenly, a glimmer of light caught Matt's attention. It flickered in the distance, drawing him like a moth to a flame. With curiosity guiding his steps, he followed the glow, his heart pounding with anticipation. The light led him to a forgotten corner of the cemetery where a small weathered tombstone stood. As he approached, a chill ran down Matt's spine. The tombstone bore the name Emily Parker, and beneath it lay an array of fading flowers and weathered toys, remnants of a grieving family's devotion. Matt couldn't help but feel a profound sadness emanating from the sight. Compelled by an inexplicable force, Matt kneeled beside the tombstone. As he reached out to touch it, a sudden gust of wind swirled around him, carrying whispers on its breath. The whispers spoke of a mystery yet unsolved, of a young girl who had vanished without a trace from this very cemetery. Matt's heart skipped a beat, his mind racing with questions. Who was this Emily Parker? What happened to her on that fateful day? Determined to uncover the truth, he vowed to delve into the chilling enigma that enveloped the cemetery and find the missing pieces of the puzzle. Equipped with a flashlight and an unwavering resolve, Matt scoured the cemetery for any clue that would lead him closer to the truth. He examined the graves, meticulously studying the names and dates etched onto the tombstones, searching for a connection to Emily Parker. His investigation led him to a local library, where he spent hours poring over newspaper archives and old records. The more he delved into Emily's story, the more intrigued and disturbed he became. The accounts painted a picture of a vibrant, innocent girl who had inexplicably vanished from the cemetery, leaving a void in the lives of those who loved her. Matt's determination grew with each passing day. He spoke to locals, seeking their recollections and gathering fragments of information. The more he learned, the darker the mystery became. Strange occurrences had been reported in the vicinity of Emily's disappearance. Unexplained sounds, fleeting glimpses of a figure in white, and whispers of a curse haunting the cemetery. Haunted by the weight of the unanswered questions, Matt found himself drawn back to the cemetery, his pulse quickening with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. It was time to confront the chilling truth that lay hidden within the cemetery's hallowed grounds. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the cemetery as Matt ventured deeper into its heart. Every step he took sent shivers down his spine, the silence broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant hooting of an owl. The gravestones whispered tales of the departed, their inscriptions a haunting reminder of lives once lived. As Matt reached the center of the cemetery, he noticed an old oak tree, its branches stretching out like gnarled fingers. Beneath its shadow, a faint figure appeared, a young girl in a tattered white dress, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. It was Emily Parker, the girl who had vanished without a trace. Matt's heart raced as he approached her, his voice barely above a whisper. "Emily, what happened to you? Why did you disappear?" Emily's voice, fragile and ethereal, drifted through the night air. "I was lured by a mysterious presence, a beckoning that led me into the heart of this cemetery. But I found myself trapped, caught in a web of darkness. The secrets here consumed me, and I became a prisoner of this place." A chill ran down Matt's spine as he listened to Emily's haunting confession. It seemed that the cemetery held more than just a mystery. It held a malevolent force, a curse that ensnared unsuspecting souls. Determined to free Emily and break the curse, Matt delved deeper into the heart of the cemetery. He followed a trail of clues, carefully deciphering cryptic symbols and ancient rituals. The path led him to a hidden underground chamber beneath the cemetery, its walls etched with arcane symbols, and the stale scent of decay lingering in the air. In the center of the chamber lay an ornate sarcophagus, its lid adorned with intricate carvings. As Matt approached, a surge of energy pulsed through the room, causing the candles to flicker and dance. He knew that breaking the curse required a sacrifice, a confrontation with the darkness that had held Emily captive. With a heavy heart, Matt prepared to offer himself in exchange for Emily's freedom. But as he stood on the precipice of this selfless act, a glimmer of light illuminated the chamber, revealing a hidden inscription on the sarcophagus. It spoke of an ancient ritual, one that could banish the darkness and break the curse without the need for sacrifice. With newfound hope, Matt recited the incantation, his voice strong and unwavering. The chamber shook, and a blinding light engulfed the room. When the light faded, the curse was broken, and Emily stood before Matt, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. The cemetery, once shrouded in darkness, became a place of solace and peace once more. Matt and Emily, bound by their shared experience, vowed to protect the cemetery from the malevolent forces that had plagued it. They worked tirelessly to restore its beauty and honor the memories of those who rested there. Years passed, and the tale of the mysterious disappearance and subsequent liberation of Emily Parker became a local legend. The cemetery regained its serenity, and its secrets remained buried, a testament to the power of love, courage, and the human spirit. And as for Matt and Emily, they carried the lessons learned from their harrowing journey, cherishing the beauty of life and the importance of protecting the sacred resting places of the departed. Tim always had a peculiar fascination with cemeteries. The quiet rows of tombstones, the somber atmosphere, and the untold stories beneath the ground intrigued him. He often found solace in walking through the old cemetery near his home, reading the names etched into weathered stones and imagining the lives of the people buried there. One autumn evening, as the sun began to set, Tim decided to explore a new cemetery he had recently heard about. It was said to be the final resting place of some of the town's most notorious figures from the past. Intrigued by the prospect of discovering hidden stories, Tim set off. As he stepped through the rusted iron gates, the air grew thick with an eerie stillness. The cemetery was overgrown, with tangled weeds and crumbling tombstones scattered throughout. Tim's footsteps echoed through the desolate space as he ventured deeper into the heart of the burial ground. His eyes caught a glimmer of light from a distant corner. Curiosity propelled him forward, his heart pounding in his chest. As he approached, he discovered a small, neglected mausoleum covered in ivy. The entrance was partially obscured by fallen debris and years of neglect. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Tim cleared away the debris and entered the mausoleum. Inside, the air was musty, and cobwebs adorned the small chamber. His flashlight revealed ancient artifacts and old documents. It seemed as though time had stood still in this forgotten place. Among the relics, Tim discovered an old diary. With trembling hands, he opened it and began to read the delicate handwritten pages. The diary belonged to a woman named Evelyn, who had lived in the town long ago. As Tim read her words, he became captivated by her story. Evelyn's diary chronicled her life as a young woman living in the town. She wrote of forbidden love, family secrets, and the struggles of her time. The pages were filled with emotions and experiences that seemed to transcend time. Tim couldn't help but feel a deep connection to this woman from the past. As he read further, Tim noticed a peculiar entry. Evelyn had written about a hidden treasure buried somewhere within the cemetery grounds. The location was described in cryptic detail, and the possibility of finding the treasure ignited a flame of excitement within Tim's heart. Determined to unravel the mystery, Tim closed the diary and set out into the cemetery once again. The fading light cast long shadows among the tombstones as he meticulously searched for clues, following Evelyn's cryptic instructions. The night grew darker, and the silence seemed to thicken around him. Just as Tim was about to give up, his foot hit something solid beneath the ground. He knelt down and started digging with his hands, unearthing an old wooden chest. His heart raced as he pried open the lid, revealing a trove of old coins, sparkling jewelry, and historical artifacts. But before Tim could fully revel in his discovery, a bone-chilling wind swept through the cemetery. The shadows seemed to play tricks on him, and he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. In that moment, he realized the potential danger he had put himself in by searching for the treasure in this desolate place. Feeling a sudden wave of unease, Tim decided it was best to leave the cemetery immediately. He carefully closed the chest, burying it back in the ground, and began retracing his steps toward the entrance. The wind howled through the trees, and he could swear he heard faint whispers echoing through the night. As Tim hurriedly made his way out of the cemetery, an overwhelming sense of relief washed over him. He had narrowly escaped a situation that could have had dire consequences. The allure of the treasure had blinded him to the potential dangers that lay hidden within the cemetery. From that day forward, Tim decided to leave the buried treasures of the past undisturbed. He realized that some things were better left untouched, and that his curiosity had led him down a treacherous path. He turned his focus toward preserving and honoring the stories of the people buried in the cemetery, rather than seeking personal gain. Tim dedicated himself to researching the history of the cemetery, uncovering forgotten tales, and shedding light on the lives of those who had once lived in the town. He worked with local historians and preservation groups to restore and maintain the cemetery, ensuring that the memories of the past were preserved for future generations. Through his efforts, the cemetery became a place of historical significance, attracting visitors who were interested in learning about the town's rich heritage. Tim conducted guided tours, sharing the stories and anecdotes he had unearthed during his research. The cemetery became a symbol of community and remembrance, with people coming together to honor the lives that had shaped the town's history. In the end, Tim realized that the true treasure of the cemetery was not material wealth, but the stories and legacies of the individuals who lay at rest. He had found his purpose in preserving those stories and ensuring that the memory of those who had come before was never forgotten. And so, Tim continued his work, tending to the cemetery with care and respect. The shadows of the past no longer haunted him. Instead, they served as a reminder of the importance of cherishing the stories and history that connect us all. The cemetery became a place of solace, reflection, and appreciation for the beauty and fragility of life.